Coming up in this video, I'm about to show you how Trieste is probably the most underrated city in Italy. Maybe this is because many people think of it as just a cruise port, somewhere where you set off on your Italian or Adriatic cruise, but I'm about to show you in this video that it is much more than that. I am currently in Trieste. What? Okay. I am currently in Trieste, which is a large town / small city in the northeast of Italy. It is actually nearly on the Slovenia border, so it's got lots of Slavic influence. And in the background just here is what is known as the Grand Canal. It has just one canal coming in from the sea outlet. But this morning, and perhaps for most of the day, I'm going to show you my first impressions of Trieste and some of the highlights it has to offer, as it is a main seaport for Italy, and it actually takes about 40% of Italy's coffee. There's a lot of building works going on in the background, so let's have a little wander and get away from it. What's quite refreshing about Trieste, unlike a lot of the other Italian cities that I've personally been to, such as Rome, Venice now, like in the last video, and even Naples and Capri, is they are all very much tourist centred, but Trieste doesn't feel like that. It feels like you're just in a regular city or town anywhere in Italy with very few tourists. There's definitely not over tourism here in Trieste. The odd bit of American or English tourism that you see, it's probably people that are here to board the cruise ships, because now they have this as the centre for a lot of the Adriatic cruises and Italian cruises to limit that situation in Venice. Any risk to the old buildings in Venice that was there. So now that's why all the cruises are leaving from Trieste, like in our next video. Johnny, on a personal note, has just gone in the shop to get himself a lighter weight linen top and linen shorts, because even though he brought several linen shirts and several pairs of shorts, they were really thick linen, and it's currently about 40 degrees and we are very hot, but we're keeping the linen shirts on to try and protect ourselves from the sun. But sometimes even linen is just too hot. So he's in there, and he will be out shortly with his new outfit. Have you got your purchases?
Sweaty shorts and sweaty t-shirt because it's like a billion degrees. Warm head that.
Is actually famous for being one of the largest ports in Italy, and not just that, but 40% of Europe's coffee comes into this port. So this square that I'm actually standing on was renowned for being the places that people would get together, sample the coffee, and it's even quite famous for being a literary place as well, in that lots of famous writers such as James Joyce also liked the coffee shop culture here in Trieste and would gather around and write and debate. And it's actually said that in this square, this is one of the main squares in Trieste, and this is one of the main squares in Trieste, and it's actually, I'm in one of the main squares in Trieste, and there's actually a huge coffee shop culture here in Trieste. In fact, 40% of Europe's coffee comes into the Port Trieste. With it being one of the largest ports, it's also quite busy. And this square is where people would gather and test the coffee being imported. And it's actually got a huge literary tradition. And people like James Joyce would come and write here while sampling the coffee in the lovely coffee shops on this square, which I too am about to sample. In Italy, it's considered standard to have a quick espresso standing at the bar, which is what you can see here as we enter Caffè Speciale or Speziale. And you can even see all the different coffees that they have behind the coffee bar, not to mention an absolutely amazing selection of desserts or things to obviously take with coffee. What we actually found in many places in Italy is that often, even when you just order drinks, you get given a little tiny selection of sandwiches or snacks with it. We couldn't believe the generosity in this place, as all these little sandwiches that you can see, they were all free with the price of the drinks, which I think you can see on this receipt. There's also a Harry's bar on this main piazza. If you didn't see one of our other vlogs, which was 24 hours in Venice, we went to the original Harry's bar, which is world famous for people visiting, such as Ernest Hemingway, the Rat Pack. The one in Venice is a bit more traditional and old school, and they kept it original, but in the one in Trieste, like the one in Rome, it's more, shall we say, salubrious and luxury. Not that the one in Venice isn't, but there's also another here. So I think you've gathered by now that Trieste has this absolutely huge piazza. There are quite a few of these large open spaces in Trieste, which was very well welcomed after Venice having more space to perhaps walk around in. Don't get me wrong, Venice was lovely, but you definitely felt the difference in the space and the prices in Trieste. Later this day we ended up having a pizza and it was just €12 for a very large pizza. And there's also quite a good large shopping district in Trieste. It really feels like a regular town without tourists in Italy. If you want the space after Venice, this is the place to be. So let's explore a couple of the back streets before getting a little bit more of the lowdown on Trieste. In the prices in Trieste as well, with it not being a tourist destination, are actually quite shocking. For instance, in Venice, like in any major city, you were looking at about €20 for a pizza, but last night when we arrived it was €8 for a pizza and basically about €4 for a drink. You couldn't even believe how well priced the coffees were this morning in the most famous coffee shop in Trieste, and we got all those free things included. So very, very good value for money here, because it's not an overpopulated tourist destination and in fact an underrated place to visit. Because not too far from Trieste, you also have the Dolomites to explore. We spent the rest of our day roaming around Trieste, grabbing a gelato and getting any last minute things that we needed for our cruise the next day. We did also stay in a very futuristic hotel designed by Simone Micheli, which I am going to show you in the next video before we board our Adriatic cruise. So we've walked the large main district of Trieste today, and that is mainly what Trieste has to offer. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Maybe check out some of our other travel videos. See you in the next one. Bye!